Shiba Inu is kind of doing its own thing right now, and I'm okay with that. Shib is one of the few assets that actually maintained its breakout from yesterday. That's a really good sign. But I will say that there are a few things that we do need to watch very closely. This week is actually very, very crucial for Shiba Inu, a lot more crucial than I think people understand. So we're going to talk about a lot of different things taking place right now. So if you guys are new or haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below. Hit that bell. It's free to do. It'll keep you updated anytime there's new content live here on the channel. So Shib is obviously having a red day along with everything else. Right now it's down about 6.5%, just kind of putzing around these ranges. We're getting some chop right now. It's about 7:15 a.m. Central Standard Time. US money is waking up. And of course, the resounding theme is red. We had some overnight red. We have some US money red to begin the day. And I'm hoping that this is a trend that does change as the day progresses. Now, what I will say is not helping us is Michael Saylor just bought more Bitcoin. And this might sound like a good thing, right? He bought $764 million worth of BTC. Only downside is when Michael Saylor buys BTC, usually the market drops. So that basically right as soon as this news hit, we saw BTC drop from about that 103 range down to about 102.7. So we'll see if we do end up getting a bounce here. But BTC obviously led us on a very nice day yesterday. We had a BTC breakout and run all the way up to the highest weekly close we have ever seen. We actually ran all the way up to about 107.1 or so, which is a great sign. But then overnight, we got some dumping. We got some liquidations that took place. There's still this huge presence of long and short interest in the crypto market. In fact, like I talked about in my earlier ADA video today, we have the highest presence of open interest in the crypto market we've seen since all the way back in the early part of February, since we got our major liquidation event in the largest liquidation event in crypto history. Not to scare anyone, but that's just currently where we're sitting at. That's why we're having such wild volatility right now. Now, what I will say is a good sign is, again, Shib maintained its breakout. It's kind of separated a little bit. In fact, it's doing the exact opposite of Ethereum, which is kind of wild. Yesterday, gained a lot versus ETH. Today, losing a lot versus ETH. So that's not fun to deal with. It just kind of is what it is. But what I will say right now is we have entered this oversold range in terms of the stochastic RSI on the daily, which is a great sign for Shib, because a lot of times that shows when it's starting to bottom, right? When we look back here across the oversold range, kind of did one of these rounded formations and then break out to the upside. This wasn't a great one here. We spent a little bit of time down here. We obviously know what happened back in the early part of April that brought us down. But we reached oversold back here in the early part of March. Nice rally out of that. Oversold back here. When was this? Later part of January. Nice rally out of that. Not a big one, but nonetheless, we've kind of reached this area that Shib likes to bounce out of, which is a great sign. Now, what I will say is the reason why this week is so crucial, why this is such a big deal, is we're actually at this point where we could have a bearish cross on the weekly stochastic RSI. Now, this is not a good thing, all right? And this isn't to scare anybody or anything like that. But when these do happen, you tend to have exaggerated drops out of this, all right? Last time this took place was actually October of 2024. Shib had a nice rally, obviously, but then we dropped, right? We got down to the early part of November. We were on a retracement of about, what was that? Of about 15% or so, okay? And again, not to scare anybody, but this could be the signal of some more weeks of downtrend, okay? Just take a look back here. Weekly stochastic RSI cross back in March of 2024 led us on a big downtrend. Weekly stochastic RSI cross in December of 23, downtrend. You guys get the point, right? Again, not to scare you, but this week is a pretty big deal. And we need Shiba Inu to finish on a green week. Hasn't started off great. But the good news is that there's a lot of time left. All right. We have a lot of time to make moves. There's some good things that are taking place this week. I won't get too much into that in this video, just because I talked about that in a later ADA video coming today. But when we tend to have these big oversold days, you tend to get nice bounces out of it. And what we're seeing is a lot of accumulation take place, a lot of defensive price, right? Shib continues to bounce off of a lot of these moving averages. It keeps showing these signs that it wants to rally. And it's a question of, does retail get too burnt out? Are they too exhausted that they just let whatever happens? Which, if that's the case, then we might see some red. But if retail stays resilient, they keep building their positions, they keep trying to push the charts to the upside, then maybe we get a little bit of a rally as the week progresses. The big thing I will say is that most charts around the crypto market right now, they're showing a break by either Wednesday or Thursday. Those are the big kind of days to watch this week. Early week might be a little deceiving. We could have some red and then a late week flip. I'm not ready to make a call on this once or make a call on this quite yet. I'm fumbling through this video for whatever reason. And it's because I have questions, right? It's a question of, what is the overwhelming trend be earlier in the week? Is that going to be a distinct difference from later in the week? It seems like that's probably how it's going to go, but we'll just have to wait and watch and see what happens. So I appreciate you guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know your thoughts. What do you think we're going to get earlier in the week? Do you think that's going to be different from later in the week? I still think we have a huge potential for this week to finish green nonetheless, but we'll see how things go. Have a great day. Show your love below. Catch you guys in the next one. Take care.